Today we're going to go through all my lenses on the Fuji. So, are you ready? Give me a spin move.
He got like for the same amount of money he got the
Cool.
and a mobile.
Oh. A
little hot.
Really hot. 1, 2. Better. Turn it down just a smidge. 1, 2. Okay, run 2. I'll test all those later. So now let's do. Oh hey, if I got you on this one, let's use this one. Okay. All right, get the posing.
I'm not using it. I can't do it.
I'm coming in. How are you doing today?
Good.
Can you give me a bunch of attitude today?
Oh yeah.
Go with the blind. Ready? 1. We'll get a little closer, but not. 2. Alright, next lens. Okay, my last shoot I decided I was going to test out all my lenses that I have for the GFX system. EF mount with the Fringer adapter and the GF glass. I have the Canon 200 f2, the sigma105 1.4, the sigma40 1.4, the Fuji 120 macro f4, the Fuji gf80 1.7, and the Fuji 35-70. Tatum was our model. She's teen model of mine that she does a lot of beauty pageants, and she's very into modeling, into beauty, she just likes to model. So she's a very busy girl. She was really had a lot of attitude this shoot. I think she was so tired because she does so many different things. She's a dancer, she's a cheerleader. She just started school back, and what else does she do? She does beauty pageants. She shows cows. She's a 4-H girl, so she's just an amazing overall girl. But yeah, she models for me a lot. I just like working with her. I think we get some cool pictures. She comes up with a lot of really cool looks and ideas, and really thinks out her outfits. Every single one is so thought and coordinated. So she's really a joy to work with. She was our model for this test. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else. I'll tell you kind of what I think. I haven't looked at the images yet. I'll give you guys all the raw files. I would really like it if you did the work for me, because it's hard. I'm so close to them, and I'm used to it. It's kind of really hard for me to differentiate to try to decide which one's better than the other. They all have their strengths and weaknesses. I know it's kind of a cop-out to say, you get a different lens for different applications. I mean, really, I guess we're just trying to see optical quality. Which one shines the most to you? Which one really looks the most pleasing? That's what I would go for. Which one's resolves the most? Which one seems to have the most quality glass in it? I would say the 80 is probably the sharpest. It got the most resolving, but 80 also, when you open it up, has a lot of problems with chromatic aberrations, and the focus is better, but the chromatic aberrations when you open up are kind of really gross. The Sigma, the 1.4 is optically pretty sound. I don't really see many problems with it. I'm not sure it's sharper than the 80. It's probably pretty close. The 120 is maybe a little sharper than the 105 Sigma. The 200, I'm not sure. Coop tells me it doesn't resolve very well, but I think it resolves really well. I can't see a difference. I don't see where it fails in resolving. I don't see it at all, and it's really sharp. Sometimes I think, man, this might be the sharpest lens I have. Maybe I'm crazy. It's hard to tell, because usually when I shoot with the 200, you're so up close, so the details are going to be more there because they're magnified more to the sensor. So it's really hard to tell. I did them all 3/4. I did them all in the most basic shoot that I do the most is a 3/4 portrait, so that's why I went with that angle and that pose. We thought about doing them all from the exact same distance, the camera being at the same distance, but I decided to just get them as close as I could with the 3/4 portrait, and then let you guys kind of help me to figure it out. We'll go through it in Capture One. We'll go through real quick and see kind of what my first takes are. But I would I'm really interested to see what you guys think. I encourage you to download the RAWs. Let me know in the comment section if you have any time to go through. That would be really grateful. You know, that helps. The more we can kind of talk about it and get everybody's one-to-one, everyone's opinion, you know, would be awesome. But yeah, thanks. Let's check it out. Let's just see what happens. Okay, guys, here we are. This is Tatum. This was the end of the shoot. She wanted to get her cheer uniform. She just started school. So I just took the end of the shoot to take all my lenses out and give her a quick test. So I shoot at 3/4, so I asked her to, you know, stay in the same spot pretty much while I would move the tripod stand around. The Coop has this really cool tripod stand. It's like a giant submarine, you know, whatever you call them. Tell us periscope. Yeah, it's like a giant periscope or something. All right, so this is the 200. There's the 120. It's the 35-70, the 40, sigma 40, sigma 105, you know, the 80. Okay, so let's start with the 200. So this is the Canon 200 f2, old lens. Let's zoom in pretty close. Or let's go here. It's the 120. So yeah, right away the color looks a little more subdued and yellow. Maybe it's just because it's an older lens. But you know, where the 200 shines is outside with that f2 bokeh on a media format. It just obliterates. It looks so rad. But okay, so there's the 120. This is kind of my go-to, is the 120. It's my one I just gravitate to the most. I'll zoom in here. Okay. All right, Tatum. So yeah, 120 seems like it's a little brighter. Again, she might have moved just a hair here and there. I hope not, but yeah, this one looks like it just attacks a little more, have a little more attack. But you know, the 200's no slouch. I'd say it resolves about as good as you could expect. I don't see much of a problem there. But I think the 120 beats it. Yeah, 120 just looks a little more pleasing in the resolving, but pretty dang close. I mean, we're nitpicking, right? This isn't a 2009. It's an old lens, man. It's hanging. It's hanging with the 120. Just looks like it's not quite as detailed, or, you know, it doesn't break through that extra plane of detail like that one does. If that makes any sense. Pretty good, though. All right, let's get off these. Let's go and do the, let's go ahead and compare the 120 here to the, I'll tell you what, let's do two of them. So I picked the 120 there, looked pretty good to me. So let's do the 105 and the 80. Okay, so there's the 80 Fuji and the Sigma 105. Okay, Sigma. Sigma looks richer in the colors to me. That looks more magenta and a little more subtle. That looks a little more, I don't know, just rich. I wouldn't even say yellow. It just looks richer, more vibrant. The 105 is just a, you know, remember, that's a beautifully overbuilt portrait lens. It is adapted, but it doesn't matter. It has a very large, do you see any vignette back there on the 105? I don't. There's none. Look at that. None. And that's not even corrected or anything on the, yeah. Slightly different color. This one's obviously cooler. That's a little, maybe warmer. I don't know. Let's zoom in. Let's zoom in on the 105 here. Okay. Get in there. Looks pretty awesome for an adapted lens, right? There's the 80. Let's zoom in. Okay. 105. 80. Bring it up one. Ooh. Oh. Oh, guys. And I made sure to pick the best focused. I took like 3 of each. Maybe, I think the contrast is here, you know, the blacks are obviously a little blacker on the Sigma. Color's richer. Sharpness, detail looks a little better on the Sigma. That one looks like, again, it looks more like the Canon to me. The the Fuji 80 looks more like the Canon. It was just that half a bit behind the other two. that looks sharper. I mean, it might be a contrast thing, but I mean, we're splitting hairs. They're all really dang sharp. But wow, my thought assessments were like totally wrong so far. That is one hell of a lens, the 105. Look at that. That's adapted, dude. That's unadapted. That is adapted. That is crushing it. So all those people that say you're losing stuff when you're adapting lenses, you're full of shit. I'm sorry. I'm going to call you out, bros. That is the lie. You're not losing crap when you adapt the right lens. That is killer. Shoot, I'll tell you what. Let's do that to the 120. Zoom that in. Let's see how that the 105 compares to 120. Okay. So yeah. The 120 is, you know, I think it's a little brighter, but it's a step above the 105 in the resolution. I think it's coming, that's, okay. This one pokes through a little harder, just a smidge harder. Contrast is awesome, color is awesome, but I think the 120 is just, I think the 120 is more detailed, resolving just a hair better. Just a hair better. I hope that makes sense what I'm trying to say. All right. I want to keep it moving. You guys need to do the work for me here. Tell me what you think. These are all so dang close. I mean, I'm really, really splitting it here. But I'm blown away by the 105 right now. All right, so let's go to the 40. So obviously, you know, major, you're talking 40, it's like a 32, I think, on a full frame. Hard to get a 3/4. You know, you don't usually do 3/4 or anything with anything less than a 50, I don't think. But, you know, you get it can be a cool vibe if you work it. If you're doing like a fashion shoot or something, it can be cool. So let's zoom in. So the 40, obviously, you got a vignetting. That's going to be the major problem. You can't really correct all the way. And I don't think I have any correction. I might have a little bit on. I don't know. Because again, I'm in Photoshop now. So let's zoom in here. Well, let's stay up. That's the, and when I think, again, I was like at 67 for this. So I should have been at 50 or something for the 35-70. But whatever. Okay, here's the 40. Here's the 35-70. Ooh. Okay. What are you seeing? I'm seeing, I mean, besides the obvious, the focal length difference, but 40 almost looks sharper at that level, but anyway, let's zoom in. 35-70 is a great lens. This is a zoom lens, by the way, and it looks like it's hanging no problem with the other boys. And that's a cheap lens, a $500 lens. You can get that thing for like probably $400 some places. All right, what do we got here? Okay, that's the, okay, wow. So what are we finding here? Okay, so that's a sick lens. That's, seems like that's with the 80 and the Canon. That is a $400 lens. And that's at the edge of the focal where people say it's soft. I'm not seeing any softness there. Okay, the Sigma, if you look at it, outdoes it. It outdoes it a little bit, I think, in the sharpness and the resolving. You know, adapted lens, but it is, you know, a prime. I might be crazy. You guys need to look, but holy cow. Does that 35, this is a zoom, dude. It's a zoom, and it's a cheap zoom. As light as anything. Look at that thing punching. Yeah, it's a little behind the 40, I'd say. And it's a little darker. I know for a fact this lens shoots darker than the others. But yeah, I'd say this kind of resolves a slight bit better, the 40 does. So let's test that to the 80. Let's test the 35-70 to the 80. 80. 80. God, I almost think that, I don't want to even believe that. If I believe the 35-70 is beating the 80 right now. There's no way. I think, maybe my focus was off on it. I don't know. That makes me sad. I always said, remember the video I said that I thought the 80 was going to be the sharpest. Turns out I'm like dead wrong. That's hilarious. Maybe it was a focus thing. I mean, again, I picked the sharpest from the ones I took. Oh, guys, tell me what you think when you get the images. Is the 40 to the... Yeah, 40's definitely beating the 80. I'm sorry. I hate to say it. That's the 40. It is... Gosh. This is what a strange test. What a strange test. Okay, that's the 200. 200's beating the 80. Yeah, 200's beating it. Oh, well, I was on to do that. Whatever the heck I did there. Okay. Okay, this is the 105 again. The 105 to the 200. You know, it's got it better. Yeah, it's resolving better. Okay, let's stick in the 35 that to the Sigma. Oh yeah. Yeah, 105 is definitely beating the 35 to 70 in my opinion. Yeah. And I'm talking about like resolving and sharpness. That's what I'm looking at here. Go back to the 120. Okay, I know this is an annoying test. Give the 120 beats the 105. So let me think what I got here. So far, I think I like the 120 the most. So far, I didn't think that would be the case. Seems like I like the 105 second. Okay. Then, gosh, next it seemed like I liked. Let's compare the 200 to the 40. I know this is a ridiculous test. In terms of resolving, okay, the 40 is beating the 200, all right? So the 40 is also beating the 35 to 70. Okay, so, and then the 80 looked like it was the lowest, and I hate to say it, but the 80 looks like it was the lowest. So I was absolutely wrong with my assumptions based on these images. So I would go 120. I'm talking about resolving and kind of sharpness. I would go 120. Then I would go 105, the Sigma. Then I would go the Sigma 40. So the difference now I'm having is the 35 and the Canon. The 35 to 70 and the Canon. And I'm putting the 35 to 70 going to be over the Canon, I think. Yep. So, okay, so I think this is it for me. The 120, the 105, the 40, the 35 to 70, the Canon, and then the 80. That's just me. You guys might think I'm completely wrong, but please let me know what you find. I'm very interested in what you guys find, but again, for me, it was the 120, the 105 Sigma, the Sigma 40, and the next was the 35 to 70, and then the Canon 200, and then the 80. And I'm talking about resolving and sharpness. So, yeah, crazy. I'm very interested to see what you guys find. Thanks.